dropping me some of the microphone in here. How's everybody? Good. Thank y'all so much for having me. I do appreciate it. So I won't be up here too long. I promise. I do promise you that. But the theme that was given to me for this morning was meeting the challenges of our present day. So it's Black History Month, obviously. So I'll just start off, I guess, recapping who I am, just in case you probably don't know. So I'm from Little Rock, born and raised. I went to school in New Orleans for college. New Orleans is very high Black population, probably about 65 or maybe 70%, so a lot, right? And then after that, I got my first job in journalism up in Washington State, in Kennewick, Washington. Has anyone ever heard of Kennewick, Washington? I had never heard of it either. It's 30 hours away, and it was a 0.8% Black population. Ooh. Right, I was the only one in Walmart at a time. It was the weirdest thing to me ever. And so then after that, I was up here for about 2 years, and I moved back here to Little Rock. So I've been here, like I said, for almost about 3 years. So I'm glad to be back. I do have family pretty close to here, out in Scott and Keto. But most of my other side of the family, Cotton Plant, Arkansas. I don't know if you guys know where that is. So I am very familiar with small towns in the country. I go there all the time. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me. So I do have a couple topics that I do want to talk about. So I already mentioned who I am. And also I want to talk about knowing the past. So in order for you to make change in anything, we have to know where we came from. We have to know what happened before us to make things the way they are right now. That's basically just knowing your history. And sometimes we're not always taught everything that we need to know in school, right? So you got to do your own research. I'll give you an example. Does anybody have proof that their ancestors or know an ancestor who was in slavery? So my mom went back, did research. She does all the family research history. She went back and we had all this documentation, and to see in words that your great-great-great-great-grandfather was born into slavery, things like that gives you proof. It does something to you. It's like, wow, this really happened. So just knowing that past, knowing what everybody had to go through in order to get here to this point. And that's the same with my field. I'm obviously not the first Black woman on TV in Arkansas, but the ones before me did have to go through things in order for me to be here where I am today. Amen. But I will also mention, I'll point out, I guess this is a little bit of Black history, I'm not for sure, but I'm the only Black weather woman in the state of Arkansas that I'm aware of. So I think, I think that's right. I'm not for sure. But my goal is to try to open up doors for people after me. That's what I want to do. And so if I can leave a place better than the way it was before, then I've definitely done something. So my next point, I want to talk about seeing media and technologies as tools. Obviously, you got police videos, people can pull out their cameras, so we're seeing a lot of things the way they're happening. So media is definitely a tool that we're seeing being used, and it holds people accountable. And I think that we can also use that too for our advantage in order to, like I said, not repeat the past, but know where we're going in the present and in the future. Also understanding the present, knowing why things are the way they are. So it was on 9th Street in downtown Little Rock a long time ago. It used to be thriving with Black businesses, a whole lot. But now it's not. The only thing over there Black owned is Mosaic Couplers. And so for you to understand, like, well, what happened? What happened with those businesses? Why is it not there anymore? You have to know why, and if you know why, you can help to build them right now. So now we're starting to see a little bit more pop up because we gotta support each other. We definitely do.
That's right.
That's the only way that we'll actually get to where we were before. So supporting each other, trusting each other, that's how that goes.
Amen.
Also passing down knowledge to generations to prepare for the future. So if your kids never knew what their grandparents had to go through in order to make it to this point right here, then they'll just take it for granted.
That's right.
They may not try hard enough. If they don't know that, okay, things weren't always like this. So you have to pass on that knowledge to them. You have to do family research. You have to know where you came from in order to realize this is where I need to go. I don't need to do this because we could take 10 steps back. So that's that. Also, last thing, church is a resource. Just I'll go way back. So during slavery, the best times for the slaves to get together was during their church services.
Yeah.
So the church has always been a big thing in the Black community, and it's a place where we can all come together. And if we take advantage of that, because you see each other every single Sunday, and maybe Wednesdays as well, you see each other every week, at least once a week, you can take advantage of that. You can encourage each other. You can build up and make things better. You got young people in the church, you can pass that knowledge on down to them so that you can keep this going. Because if you don't, it's not going to keep going. So that's basically what I'm talking about today, meeting the challenges of our present day and knowing where you came from, what people had to go through in order to get to where you are. And it's not a lot of us on TV here in Arkansas, and I say us, like Black news people. I think maybe like 5 of us, maybe 5 of us. And really it should be more. But I think that with each person here, I think that there's a way that we can definitely make there become more. So it's just all a part of the process, you know, all a part of the process. So that is all I have for this morning.
All right.
Thank y'all so much, and please, meeting the challenges of our present day to get to where you're going for tomorrow.
Amen.
I was asking her in Keo, her folks, last name, and she said Richard. Last name in Keo. So if anybody remember any Richard Smith? Oh, I should know. No, or they don't know. Man from Keo, she would know. Amen. So, and Smith.
It starts with the Smith.
Okay.
Alex Smith. I know him, I know his dad. I'm really from here.
What history? Okay, no.
Knowing in history. So we thank God certainly again for her meeting the challenges again of our present day. And again, we certainly know that there are many challenges, but as she said, we can take advantage of the technology. And I'll just say that we can certainly take advantage of that. And I'm going to say this, but we can use our technology wisely.
Amen.
And she said, quit talking so much junk on Facebook, social media, and all of that. But me and Reverend Moore was talking about the things that we all have talked this morning, and talking about how that we could help, again, each other, and those type things, or people being sick, and how we can help. We don't hear about those things. He was telling me about a friend, family member that was in the nursing home that nobody had said anything about. But he had to hear it through by way of a friend of his that a family member was in the nursing home. So we can use it for benefit to tell our story. This is our history as we celebrate again on Black History Month. That Dr. King said that the oppressors don't give them anything. We have to fight for it. And she said, meeting of challenges, we have to fight for it, because they ain't gonna just give it up. And I know in her struggles, again, we just pray again for God's continued blessing upon her and the other Black journalists that we have. Because I could imagine that it's not easy. But just hang on in there. May the Lord continue to bless you. And we appreciate you again, Sister Richard, for coming and being with us on today. Amen. extend an invitation if there's anyone here. And then we will prepare to go in the back. Cynthia will be happy to do our blood pressure. Some can get soup while others get the blood pressure, and vice versa. So that one just won't inundate the blood pressure and get some soup. Thank God, if you're here today, we want to invite you to come while the blood still runs warm in your vein. Let your light shine, shine, shine. Let your light shine, shine, shine. 'Cause maybe there's someone down in the valley trying to come home, trying to come home. Oh, let your light shine, shine, shine. Let your light shine, shine, shine. 'Cause maybe there's someone down in the valley trying to come home, trying to come home. It may be your child, it may be mine, but I'm gonna let my little light shine. 'Cause maybe there is someone down in the valley trying to come home, trying to come